All right, Jason, thanks very much. It is the Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy. And we welcome you to the Fog in the Big 12 on ESPN. An excellent matchup today in the Big 12. Two teams fighting it out in what is a very difficult league. Texas Tech taking on Kansas in Lawrence. Well, it just goes to show you how balanced this league is. Baylor hasn't played since February 2nd, so they still are undefeated, and they lead the way. But look at Kansas all the way down through Texas Tech. These teams round robin, just beating each other up. Bob Wischusen and Dick Vitale set to watch this one. And Kansas is really emblematic of exactly what this Big 12 season, Dick, has been all about. They started off red hot, stumbled in the middle of their schedule. They've won 4 in a row, and maybe today we find out how good they really are.
Well, it's going to be really a test right here. There's no doubt about it, Bob. It's like taking your calculus test, your microbiology. This is not Cupcake City. They were expected to beat Iowa State twice and Kansas State, but this will be a real tenacious battle here with the Red Raiders.
David McCormick, who has been in double figures, 7 of the last 8 for KU, gets them on the board to start. No player in the Big 12 in conference play averages more points per game than Mac McClung. And that's why he gets double teamed.
They do a great job switching on defense. When you look at Kansas, their defense has really elevated its game, and that's the area they've really improved. Now they're going to be able to get the offense to give them a little bit firepower.
Santos Silva on the drive. Can't get it to go as he barely beat the shot clock.
Well, he's a key player. He's been getting in a lot of foul trouble. Hasn't played a lot of minutes out there, Bob. They need him on the court with his size and his physical toughness.
Jalen Wilson off the mark.
Key player for Kansas. Wilson went through a little slump, has battled back, and he's a key player. He can give him a lot of offense.
He came up with the loose ball there. They go back down low to McCormick once again. Number 3 in the Big 12 in double-doubles with 5. Sets up Agbaji. He can't hit the 3, but the back tap from McCormick finds its way to Marcus Garrett. Christian Brown. That's too strong.
Agbaji came up big in that first matchup. They won by 1 point. December 17, 58-57. Jayhawks leave Lubbock with a W. McCullough didn't play in that game, and he's really valuable to Texas Tech.
He missed the first 9 games with a high ankle sprain in practice just before the season, and he has been a difference maker since he has come back. As Kyler Edwards misses in close, here comes Brown in transition, and he'll pull it back out.
Now Edwards has got to give a solid performance. He's been up and down during the year. Veteran player. In fact, scored 14 points in the NCAA championship game when they lost that heartbreaker to Virginia.
He's the top returning scorer from last season. Honorable mention all Big 12, but this Texas Tech team, their last 3 games, Dick, at Baylor, postponed because of COVID, and then back-to-back games this week against TCU, also postponed because of all of the tragic weather that we have seen go through the state of Texas. And of course, our hearts and prayers go out to everyone, especially in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and down to Houston, the big metroplexes that we're talking to Chris Beard about it this past week. And he said, really, in Lubbock, we have been mostly spared a lot of the tragic situations that we've seen in the central part of the state.
Yeah, Austin as well. Our hearts, as you said so well, Bob, really go out to those people to endure what they've been dealing with. Just really very, very tough times.
McCullough in and out for 3. Texas Tech still can't knock one down.
Shooting the basketball at times during the year for both these clubs has been a struggle. But I mean, look, Texas Tech has scored a lot more than they did in the past. They were 70 points and better in 10 of their games.
McCormick bullets one underneath to Garrett.
I tell you, Garrett, great cut without the ball on a weak side, but a tremendous look. Good vision right there by McCormick in that post. Chris Beard told me he thinks he's the best big guy in the conference. Has a great deal of potential. And he's a guy that he has some great moments, and he's been a little bit inconsistent, but the last 4 games that they've won, he's averaging 14.7 a game.
Nice drive by McCullough. Do you think that David McCormick is the best big man in the Big 12?
That was a nice drive, man. Really nice drive to the goal. They needed that badly.
I think we had Derek Culver maybe on line one. McCullough fighting for the loose ball. Agbaji on the offensive glass kept it alive until it carried to Mac McClung. TJ Shannon leans in. That won't go. Rebound pulled down again by McCormick.
Shannon's got to give him points. He gave him 20 in that first matchup. He's a guy that can shoot the three, drive the basketball. He's got good explosive ability to the goal. A good double up right there.
And Dick, I'm not sure if you heard my question before, but what are your thoughts about Chris Beard saying he thinks David McCormick is the best big man in the Big 12? Do you agree with that, or maybe you lean towards a Derek Culver in that argument?
Well, I lean toward the kid at West Virginia. I think Culver's a double-double guy on a consistent basis, tough as can be. This guy's won a little bit in his life right here. Mr. Self talked to him on the phone the other day. You know, this is not really the kind of situation they're accustomed to. A lot of clubs would be celebrating to be 16-7, but not Kansas.
Agbaji lost it. The loose ball. Karams across the court to Garrett. Extra pass to Brown for three. Yes.
He said he's got to get him going, making that three and shoot the three ball. Looking for ways that they could score a lot better. They got to do a little bit better job getting easy baskets, transition, off steals, forced turnovers, offensive rebounds. That could help their game. He said everything right now has become a grinded out kind of game, 5 against 5, and that makes it tough.
TJ Shannon, offensive foul call. Jalen Wilson takes the charge.
Had a good start here in the first 4 minutes. Certainly the edge goes big time to Kansas.
A 6-point lead for KU early on. Are we still in Kansas, Toto? We'll find out when we come back. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5 Hour Energy, the official sponsor of Getting Stuff Done, and in part by AT&T 5G. Bob Wischusen, Dick Vitale, not right now at Allen Fieldhouse, but boy, Dick, we cannot wait to get back there in scenes like this. Yes, Dorothy, we miss you and Toto
Dorothy
as well. You know, this is one of those bucket list special places to go see a college basketball game when all of the fans are there. We've experienced it. We need to get back to it ASAP.
No doubt about it. When you think about going there, one of the most passionate group of fans you're going to find in basketball, especially along with the people down in Lexington, Kentucky as well. Kentucky, you got the Cameron Crazies. This is a special place. It's like one of the cathedrals of all of basketball. Allen Fieldhouse.
Garrett from the wing. That's short. Offensive rebound with one arm by Wilson. The tip follow not there from McCormick. Christian Brown in traffic. It's a held ball as he was fighting forward with Clarence Nadolny. So the arrow will give it to Texas Tech. And there's Dr. Naismith. The rules reside in Allen Fieldhouse.
Hey, one of the great thrills I got in my life, I received the Naismith Trophy, the Naismith Award for contributions to the game. Mr. Naismith brought smiles to my face. I got it in the house. What a heavy trophy, too.
McCormick to the jump hook.
I'm going to tell you what, there's a nice little swag watching them play right now at Kansas. They really seem to be in tune what they want to do. They're going to the post, using the post man as a passer as well as a scorer, and McCormick is responding. The big guy's responding. He heard you say you like Culver over him. He heard that, Bob Wischusen. He heard it. So I'm going to prove to Mr. Wischusen tonight, I'm the best big man in the conference, like Chris Beard says.
Did he hear you agree with me when I said it?
Yeah, he probably heard that too.
Yeah, I think he probably did. Nadolny leads one into the lane, and Tyreke Smith will go to the line. How about the rust factor for Texas Tech, Dick? As we talked about missing the Baylor game because of COVID, that was about a week and a half ago, and then back-to-back games against TCU. It's been a long time since Texas Tech has been on the floor.
Well, you don't really know what to expect. You really don't. In terms of kids, you don't get that rhythm of timing as playing in a game environment, a game situation. I know Chris Beard talked about the uncertainty when I spoke to him on the phone yesterday. His team has certainly improved, but I'll tell you this, saying all that, what about Michigan? They were off for 3 weeks and they had to go to Wisconsin. They went to Wisconsin, they're down 14 on Wisconsin, and they come back and beat them. I mean, Juwan Howard has done one amazing job with the Wolverines. To do that after being out 3 weeks was very, very impressive.
Well, Texas Tech, and talking to Chris Beard, he said it. We are a no excuses program. We are not going to talk about rust. We're not going to talk about losing a top 25 recruit in Amari Burnett earlier this year. It's just basically whatever the hits are as they keep on coming. He believes in the culture of his program, and it's kind of a next man up philosophy, as it looks like Jamarius Burton reaches in on McCormick.
Yeah, McCormick really playing aggressively early in the game here. You mentioned the kid Burnett. That really was a big loss because he was so talented. And everybody said he was one of the best recruits coming out ever to Texas Tech. But, you know, sometimes kids just get a little unhappy too quickly. But that's his decision. He decided to transfer. Has not announced, I don't believe, yet where he's going to end up going. But I'm sure he's going to have a lot of people chasing him. But, you know, Chris Beard, that's history. He doesn't want to even talk much about that anymore. Let's talk about the kids that are wearing the Texas Tech uniform. This guy's done one amazing job since arriving in Lubbock.
National Coach of the Year a couple of years ago when he took Texas Tech to their first ever championship game and their first ever Final Four. The year before, he took them to their first ever Elite Eight. So the last 2 times we've had NCAA tournaments, Texas Tech has made school history. Shot fake by Burnett, throws one up, and he will go, or check that Burton, and he will go to the line. Well, David McCormick, 5 double-doubles so far this season, Dick. Number 3 in the Big 12.
But nice little move inside using the left hand. He's getting deep position in the post. Pass the ball, accepts you up. Good vision, has good sight, knows where his teammates are on the court. A good start for him in this game. And that's big, big for the Jayhawks.
That 2018 McDonald's All-American. And when you're a McDonald's All-American and you come to Kansas, it's almost as if you're treated as a failure if you're not in the NBA after your freshman or sophomore season. And talking to Bill Self, he's just proud that David McCormick has continued to develop the way players used to be allowed to develop, right, without necessarily being judged too soon.
Well, you know, did we evaluate kids right away as freshmen? They come in with a big reputation, and then we label them as a failure. I'll tell you one thing, right now down in Kentucky, they've got some outstanding freshmen who came in with big-time reputations, and they're really showing today how good they are. They were routing Tennessee. Good block right there.
Strong block by Santos Silva on the drive from Garrett.
And he didn't foul because he's been getting a lot of foul trouble, putting him on the bench as an assistant coach. Chris Beard doesn't need him next to him as an assistant. He needs him on the floor.
Garrett sets up Agbaji. He knocks down the 3.
I'm going to tell you this. Great pass to find the open guy, but you notice the spacing, tremendous spacing. Bill Self's got to be very impressed early in this game, the way they're performing offensively as well as their defense. They're coming after you defensively. They really are.
Santos Silva in the post. Smoothly done.
Santos Silva now gets the ball in deep and shows that he can score down in that post position as well.
Garrett lost it. Poked away by Kyler Edwards. Jamarius Burton. That pass knocked out of bounds. Good job by Jalen Wilson to get back on defense.
Yeah, Wilson, good job in defensive transition. Came back really quickly. Bunch of spacing here. Great 15, 17 feet apart. And now he finds the open guy. Goes zigzag. I call that the zigzag maneuver. And man, he finishes down, knocking down the 3.
McClung. That's way short. Offensive rebound, and the stick back for Santos Silva won't go. He tried again, kept it alive for Micah Peavy.
He's got to make that. They've really bottled up McClung so far. He can't get any open driving lanes. It's being played really tough. As we know that Garrett's certainly a tremendous premier defensive player.
McClung lobs one to Peavy. Perfectly done.
Yeah, what great timing in that play. McClung, former Georgetown player. Boy, get amazed when I think of a guy like him leaving Georgetown, Aquino as well, from out of now starring for Arizona.
Agbaji hit the underside of the basket and a foul call. And it looks like that might be on Mitch Lightfoot. That'll take us to the under 12 timeout with Kansas on top by 5. Well, two of the true Mac Daddies in the Big 12 going up against one another today. Mac McClung, he leads the Big 12 in conference play with close to 20 points per game, and David McCormick has come on of late. Double digits in 7 of Kansas's last 8 games. He is number 3 in the Big 12 with 5 double-doubles. And so far, Dick, you can see Kansas has leaned on McCormick at the offensive end.
Well, you're talking about Mac Daddies. You get me going. I'm thinking about McDonald's French fries and McDonald's hamburgers. I hope these guys get some of those McDonald's hamburgers, and certainly giving them publicity. The Mac Daddies. The Mac Daddies going at it.
An easy deuce for Peavy again, so he has a dunk and a layup for the last couple Texas Tech buckets, and we've got a 3-point game.
He's going to be a special player. There's no doubt about it. Came from a good program as down as his coach. What an acrobatic drive right there.
Circus move by the freshman Bryce Thompson.
Yeah, Bryce Thompson, they think his future's unreal. Talking to Bill Self yesterday, so he'll give us some point production. He's come back from an injury. He's a guy to come off the bench and was looking for a little point production offense out of him, and that was an example.
Peavy tied up by Wilson. Second effort taken away by Jalen Wilson.
Jalen Wilson with a strong defensive play right there.
Lightfoot, hook shot. And it looks like he turned it over. And coming up tonight at 8 Eastern, it's number 7 Virginia at Cameron Indoor, squaring off against Duke. It is a Sonic blockbuster. And Dick, we'll see if Duke can get a signature win that they so desperately need.
Well, they've been playing well lately. They really have. Since the kid Johnson opted to leave, they've really played a lot better as a team. Guys are stepping up. That will not be Cupcake City for Virginia. They know that, man. Going to camp. Oh, what a nice play. Are you kidding me? That's basketball. Movement with the ball, not just firing threes, finding open cutters. You know, the art of passing and cutting and screening, so essential in the early days of basketball. Now we watch NBA games. Guys take 30, 40 threes a game. Teams station. No, don't get me going on that.
I think we already did. And this whistle will go against Kansas as well after Bryce Thompson missed the jumper.
Watch the passing here. This is good execution right here. Knowing where your teammate is, cutting without the ball, like the diagonal cut. There's no doubt that McClung's been one of the impact transfer players. I mean, he really has been a major factor down there. They love him. He's like a folk hero down in Lubbock.
He is the mayor of Lubbock right now. There's no question. His last 2 assists, both setting up dunks. One for Peavy, one for Santos Silva. And a nice box out by Agbaji to create an easy rebound lane for Bryce Thompson. Here's Brown, wraparound pass, banking it in. Hard off the window is McCormick.
I'll tell you what, are they sharing the ball, unselfish, looking for the open man? That's a key in being a good basketball team. Be unselfish, share the basketball, play as a team. Really, the epitome of being unselfish. Right, drive to the goal, and then get his teammate right there with a little wraparound pass, and McCormick finishes the deal. I'll tell you, he's making like the best big man in the conference today, I'll tell you that.
And to your point, that's the 5th Kansas assist, Dick, on 6 made field goals.
Very impressive early start. They really are playing as a team. There's no doubt about that. They're ready for the challenge. I mean, this is a real test for them. We talked about microbiology, calculus. You know, I know you hated those classes when you took them. I drove you nuts. Me, I never took them. I'd have had to worry about that. I couldn't spell
I wonder which of us figured it out. Was it better to not take them or better to do poorly in them? Because those are the 2 boxes we checked. Here's McCullough double teamed. Now it's Peavy with 9 to shoot. McClung still looking for his first 3-point make as he'll drive it inside, fade away. A traveling called on Mac McClung.
Boy, that was a tough. He is having a tough time getting open looks. He really is. They are really concentrating, focusing on him big time.
And Dick, you talked about the stretch run for Kansas. Their last 4 wins against Oklahoma State, Kansas State, and a couple against Iowa State. It really changes with these last 3 opponents for the Jayhawks.
I would say that's not taking some little phys ed class out there. That's taking a lot of strong classes in terms of the microbiologies and the calculus and all the stuff that they have to take. I saw my son-in-law when he went to medical school. When he showed me his curriculum, I said, how do you get grades in these things? I mean, come on. I mean, and he was an outstanding student. Dr. Chris Forzo, in case you need a hand surgeon.
Here's Agbaji. Bryce Thompson, that rims off as Dick Vitale hanging out a shingle here on a Saturday afternoon on ESPN.
Got to take care of your family, man. Nothing
Absolutely.
like family. Gotta love family.
Tyreek Smith's pass deflected by Garrett. Right back to Smith off the feed from McCullough. And the rebound by Bryce Thompson.
Thompson giving us some good positive minutes. Nice drive.
Floater down the lane won't go.
And a nice drive. Found the open space and attacked it off the mounds. Kansas is going to be a little trouble in the NCAA tournament for teams. You know, everybody was talking earlier about blue bloods all going to the sideline. I'm going to tell you this. Don't put Kansas in that category. I mean, they're not the accustomed Kansas team that you usually see at this time of the year. Maybe like instead of being 16-7, they'd be like 21-2. But I'm telling you something, this club is starting to peak at the right time to create some problems. I don't see them winning a national championship, but I'll tell you this, they potentially could be at least a Sweet 16 team. Bill Self said, forget it, Sweet 16, that doesn't make it down to Kansas. We want to go beyond that.
Now, don't the great coaches usually put together Februaries going into March, like the one that Kansas has going right now?
And like Kentucky right now. I mean, I don't know what the score of Kentucky is now, but I know a while back they were up 20+ on Tennessee and coming off those 2 close wins. And I'll tell you something about winning those games. They went over Iowa State and beating the likes of Kansas State. People say, well, those are easy wins. But you know what it is? It gives the kids the feeling of knowing the excitement of winning. And that is important as well, to get that confidence, that feeling what it's like to win. And it gets them elevated to play against a good competition.
5 to shoot. Peavy from the free throw line. He connects, and just checking, Dick, 19-point lead for Kentucky over Tennessee with about 8 minutes to go in that game. So that's a road performance by Kentucky against a top 20 team, and they're dominating.
Tell you one thing, don't count them out of the SEC tournament. Peavy, by the way, early in this game has looked really good. Oh, nice. Oh, you got a catch down.
Jamarius Burton may have taken his eyes off the basketball on the touch pass from Mac McClung, and on the save, he ends up in the first row. And Brooks Wells took the charge. Taking care of a basketball family, Dick Vitale did just that. That's next.
My favorite players this year who are under 6 feet. So then the announcer says to me, the guy I'm working with says, who would be your favorite over the years? And I swear to God, Muggsy, I said, Muggsy Bogues. I'm telling you, I did that. Did you know it?
Believe it or not, I was watching when you did it.
Oh, you did.
I called Earl and told Earl the same thing. I said, my man, Dickie give me some big pub right now on TV.
Bob Wischusen, I think I was that broadcaster with Dick Vitale. You were on the 3 OGs podcast talking to Muggsy Bogues the other day.
Let me say this. I really firmly believe, and I'll say this here, as you watch here, almost had a turnover, that Muggsy Bogues to me is one of the greatest achievements in the history of the NBA. Playing 14 years in the NBA at 5'3", I was teasing me, he wasn't 5'3", he's like 5'2". And I'm talking 14 productive years. How many, you think we'll ever see Bob Wischusen, another 5'3", ever play 14 years in the NBA? I don't think so.
I'm with you. I would bet against that. I mean, Mac McClung is at 6'2", and he's even struggling in this game trying to find his shot against Kansas. Imagine being a foot shorter than that and playing 14 years at the top level in the world. It's amazing.
productive years. That's why I think he belongs in the Hall of Fame. Come on, Hall of Famers, recognize it. It'll be great incentive for young kids out there to never ever believe in can't, not allow can't. Because he never believed in can't. Those are my 5 guys under 6 feet who are really stars right now, doing a great job for their teams. But they're not. You're not looking at 5'2" there. They're 5'3". Muggsy Bogues, a giant as a man and a giant in his community because he absolutely understands how to extend the hand to help people in need.
Mac McClung took one right off the bridge of the nose. That was ruled incidental because Jalen Wilson is at the free throw line. The foul that put him there was on McCullough on that swat, and McCullough was the one that got a piece of McClung as well. That's the first on McCullough.
McClung's having a tough time getting open for shots. He plays so hard, so tough, and defense is really, really playing tough. He's being guarded right now by Garrett. I mean, Garrett's one of the premier defensive players in America. Kansas does a lot of switching. They just switch right there. They switch all over the floor, basically. And everywhere McClung touches the ball, they're all over him, man.
That baseline jumper is there for McCullough.
He's the guy Bill Self called him the glue of the team. He said he can pass the basketball, he can score the ball, he rebounds. I mean, he's averaging 7 rebounds a game as a guard in the Big 12. One of the top 2 conferences in all of basketball.
Spin move by Marcus Garrett to Brown on the wing. In and out for 3, and Mac McClung's got the rebound.
Look how tough he is, even the way he went after that rebound. He's always looking to attack. He's always looking at an open space. That's tough to find here against this Kansas defense.
Jamarius Burton fumbled the ball on the cut pass from McCullough.
Take a look right here. Watch McClung. There's the switch out. They switch out on him. Then they rotate back. I mean, they don't give him any open looks. The only open looks are look at drive. Look at the way they converge on him. They cut off his driving angle. Terrific job. Great job by our camera people as usual. Our producer does a super job. Knows basketball. Kim Belton. Let me see. I wrote that exactly. Kim, did I write it like the way you told me? I think I did. Former Stanford Hall of Famer.
Floater by Marcus Garrett is good, and Kim just said in my ear that he will pick up 1 dinner check next season. Hey, based on that little bio blast from you.
He's got the deepest pockets and the shortest hands in the history of television. But Garrett, I will tell you this. Garrett is a guy that, when I was talking to Chris Beard, he said he's the guy he's really concerned about because he hurts you in so many ways. His versatility. Does it with his defense. He can do it with some penetration. He's just such a leader on that team with Kansas.
Well, last year he won Defensive Player of the Year, and this year you can see he's on the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year watch list as well. Rebound again to David McCormick.
Kansas defense forced there a really tough shot. It was a long-range 3.
Garrett lobs one. McCormick throws it down with one hand.
Oh, what a game McCormick's having. I'm going to tell you what a game he's having. Stop going up big time for Mr. McCormick. And Garrett with the great looks. He does that versatility of Garrett.
McClung throws up a wild one.
He's struggling. He's looking at shots. He can't get a really decent look.
Agbaji comes up short for 3. Even in front of mostly cardboard cutouts, Kansas is a tough team to beat in this building. They are 10-1 so far this season at Allen Fieldhouse. As McCullough rims off a jumper, and this is the 21st trip for Texas Tech to Lawrence, and they're 1-19 in their previous 20 trips.
Well, a lot of teams have those kind of numbers against Kansas.
Agbaji, that's a bad miss again. Brown keeps it alive. Garrett tries for 3. That's way short.
I want to tell you this, Texas Tech has 1 of the 3 wins. They've only lost 3 times at home in the last 3 years. I believe, if my memory's right, Texas, Baylor, and Texas Tech have beaten them on that floor.
And in 2018 was the one time that Texas Tech in all their trips to Allen Fieldhouse came away with a win.
They're 5-2 against Kansas, against Chris Beard. Oh, nice
Shot
fake.
fake by Kyler Edwards.
Oh,
Gives it
are
up.
you kidding
And
me?
Santos Silva throws it down.
Are you kidding me? That was great basketball there. You talk about unselfish basketball. Kyler Edwards, the man, did a great job. Chris Beard's got to be excited with that play. Fakes, penetrates, drops the bounce pass, and then the dunk. Are you serious? If I'm Santos Silva, I got to hug that guy for getting me the rock there.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. All right, Kevin, thanks very much. Dickie V, you agree with that? You think Kansas might be a March sleeper?
Well, I did. I said about it earlier. I agree with that. I think they could be a team to deal with, man. They're not going to be automatic. I think Sweet 16 might be their max, but they can cause some problems. And hey, look at that play on the inside. LaFonso always takes care of the big guys. You ever talk about McCormick? Oh, man, he took care of the big guys. Those big guys stick together. It's like a brotherhood.
Well, McCormick's got 12 here in the first half. He keeps playing like this, they will be a much harder out than they appeared to be maybe a month and a half ago. He's 5 of 6 from the field, or 5 for 5, pardon me, from the field. He hasn't missed yet.
He's playing really with a lot of energy, a lot of toughness. He's playing. He wants the ball. He's an example of a player. It takes a while to develop. He was a McDonald's All-American, but it was a little slow in finding himself. Had to play behind Azubuike, but now he's coming on strong. Have done an outstanding job on the kid McClung, who can really score, man. He can really score. Now he
Freshman Bryce Thompson has him here.
He hasn't had an easy shot yet. He made one field goal. That was tough. Trying to get an open
Here he
look.
is
He
for
probably
3.
gets an open look.
And can't knock it down. Big 12 now on ESPN Plus is a must-have for Big 12 fans. This afternoon, the Jayhawk women and Lady Raiders square off in Lubbock at 4 Eastern, 3 Central. The K-State men take on TCU at 5 Eastern, 4 Central. Plus Tuesday night, Iowa State squares off against number 2 Baylor. If you're a Big 12 fan, you got to have it. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/Big12 now.
You know, McClung having a real tough game. He had a tough game against Oklahoma, too. And the situation is right now, he's getting really everywhere he goes, people really focus on him. So it's tough getting the kind of shots that you'd like to get.
Jalen Wilson with the miss at the line, only a 65% free throw shooter. The foul that put him there was on Micah Peavy. That was his second. Santos Silva gets caught in the lane, forces it up. And Wilson's got the rebound.
You were being kind there, forcing up. That was just a bad shot.
Bryce Thompson hits a 3.
I'll tell you one thing, he's been being left off that bench. Came in as a highly touted recruit. And that's the one thing that's hurting Kansas right now in recruiting because of the NCAA situation that's standing over their head. That's one of the biggest challenges they face. 4 letters, not UCLA, but NCAA.
Rebound to McCormick again. This equals the biggest Kansas lead, and they're looking to add to it before halftime. A quick timeout called by Bill Self. We're back in 30 seconds. It has been a roller coaster of a season for Kansas so far. Began the season 10-2, but then hit the skids against really good competition in the middle of their schedule, including a loss to Tennessee and 4 losses in conference play, a 5 of 7 stretch where they were on the losing end, but they've now bounced back to win 4 in a row. They left the AP poll. They're now back in the top 25. And Dick Vitale, you said coming into today, you thought this was now the real litmus test. Is Kansas back, or was just that weak competition that they played in the 4-game win streak?
Well, it looks like they're really back here because they're executing exceptionally well, both on the offensive end and on the defensive end. Using the post really well, passing the ball to one another, sharing it, and doing a great job defensively, man. You holding this club to 22 points.
A block by Tyreek Smith on the second effort by Bryce Thompson. And with 18 seconds to go in the half, Kansas comes away empty at the offensive end.
Hey, Bob, let me just share this here about McClung. He went 0 for 7, 0 for 5 shooting threes when Texas Tech played Oklahoma. Oklahoma lost that game 57-52. But I think they'll have a tough time to try to win this game unless he can find a way to score some points. And I know he's got to be a little frustrated here at halftime. He's the leading scorer in the Big 12, and he's got one bucket right now in this game. And it was tough for him to get that look. Hey, mentioned in Oklahoma, Lon Kruger is one of the most underrated coaches in the country. This guy has built programs everywhere he's been. You talk about a guy that should be getting consideration for Hall of Fame status. Lon Kruger has been terrific. And I can't wait you and I do an Oklahoma State-Oklahoma game next Saturday.
How about McClung, just before the half expires, knocking down a 3.
That's a big shot to go to the locker room with. That's a big shot, man. Down 9, get it down. Man, y'all run off the court, too. Get it, Mac, run off the court. Run off the court, get a McDonald's hamburger. There he is. There it is. Yes, sir, the kid gets one to go. The leading scorer in the conference.
Well, he finally hit a 3. It's a 6-point lead for Kansas at halftime with Seth Greenberg and the Fonz in the studio. Here's Kevin Cox.
And that wasn't easy either.
Welcome back to the Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy. Just about set for the start of the second half between Texas Tech and Kansas. A Mac McClung 3 at the buzzer before halftime makes this a 6-point game to start the second half. And Dick Vitale, we talked about a Mac attack this afternoon. Mac McClung for Texas Tech and David McCormick as well for KU.
Look at Mac right here. It shows examples how they're playing him so tough. But then he made that dramatic shot at the end of the half. I mean, that was a tough shot. Step back and goes in with a little momentum. That was a big 3. And then there's Mr. McCormick on the interior for the Jayhawks. See his arms? The wingspan. He had his hands on his side. Then he gets the wingspan. He's able to catch the ball, get the shot that he wanted, a little baseline jump shot right here. Look at it. See, he turns now, faces the defensive play. He's got great vision. That ball's coming right to Mr. Garrett. He drives it in, and Garrett gets the easy deuce. But that belonged to Mr. McCormick. Garrett should buy him some Macs after the game. Go down to Lawrence and get him some good McDonald's hamburgers and some French fries.
Well, McClung only has 5, but sometimes it's the last basket that triggers and gets a scorer going. We'll see how he performs in the second half. And you saw David McCormick. He already has 12, which means it's double figures in 8 of his last 9 games. And he is a big reason why Kansas has a 6-point lead to start off the second half.
Yeah, he's been so strong. I guarantee they're going to go inside to him early. They're going to get him the ball, but they doubled up on him.
No need. Just have Jalen Wilson knocked down a near NBA 3.
But you know, Bob, the reason that happened for Wilson was the spacing because of the double team up on McCormick. So it created space for Wilson, and Wilson delivered. He originally committed to Michigan, then had the injury, sat out last year. He's had some big games this year, especially early. He had some big games.
Kyler Edwards sets up McClung. Look out!
You know, Bob, he got an open look there. That's the first real open look that he's had in this game. I mean, a real clear open look. Squared his body, had the touch, nice penetration, fighting the open man for the 3.
He can change the game if he gets hot. And he hits one just to end the first half. Hits another to start the second half. And Santos Silva rejects Garrett, and it's out of bounds off Garrett.
Well, the good news for Texas Tech is Santos Silva is on the court and not sitting next to the coach as an assistant coach. There goes Garrett to the goal. Santos Silva with a good block, and he's also a referee. Hey, put the striped shirt on him.
Peavy in the mid-range. Fouled from behind by Brown. That's his second.
Every time it looks like they're going to make a little run, Kansas comes back up with a big basket. Chris Beard, this guy understands coaching. Worked under Bob Knight for years. He's taken some of the philosophy out, obviously, from what Coach Knight did during his tenure. You know, people don't realize the good job he did. We know about Indiana, but at Texas Tech, to be able to get Texas Tech in a tournament on numerous occasions really was special. He did a great job, and he's doing the follow through. I want to tell a story about him. He introduced me rather at a big event. I mean, it was a tremendous event, honoring a youngster who was unbelievable what he's had to face in terms of an accident, a golf cart accident, left him with lots of brain damage. And his dad, Tim Siegel, is a tennis coach at Texas Tech. And what he's done with that son is amazing. The love affair. Tom Rinaldi, before he left ESPN, did a special on that whole family. And all I can simply say to the Siegels, I hope people help them big time in raising dollars for that foundation to help other kids battling brain problems.
Brown off the backboard, no good. Peavy the rebound. Yes, amen to that, as Mr. Siegel wrote a book that was inspiring, telling the story about the love of a father for a son through the most unimaginable tragedy.
Oh, you met them. We took a picture when they came to visit us. Oh, there's my gala, by the way. Gala will be this year, May 7th. Look at the people we're honoring there, including our own Scott Van Pelt. And we're going to raise a lot of money for kids battling cancer. The kids on the right there, all kids that lost their lives to cancer. Nothing worse than a mom and dad having to face that. And both coaches here not only have been to the gala, Bill Self, and certainly when you talk about Chris Beard, and there's the books where any dollar from the sale of those books goes to the Foundation for Cancer Research. Just go to dickvitale.com, get an autographed copy. There's lots of stories there about Kansas last year, the lost season, because they were #1 in the nation, and also stories that are on Texas Tech as well, because they were a team that could have caused troubles in that scenario. But I want to just say this, that both guys, Bill Self and Chris Beard, have been to my gala multiple times, has a good entry inside, nice post move. They're very happy with the execution, and McCormick really having a great game. But both guys, not only Bob, I know you've been to the gala, and so is our producer Kim Bell, and then I can tell you this, not only has Bill Self been to the gala and Chris Beard, they have donated thousands of dollars. So these are guys that, you know, really, really care about helping others.
Well, in talking to both of them, I remember Chris Beard said, Dickie V called. I mean, I was there. Like, there's just absolutely no question I was going to the gala once you rang the phone.
Well, just really, the coaching fraternity's helped us big time. Here we go now. Back up to 7th. McCormick has been such a force inside. He's living up to the words of Chris Beard. I mean, really a dominant post player in the Big 12.
Jalen Wilson tripped Micah Peavy on the cut. So Wilson called for the foul. That's his first. Jalen Wilson was a medical redshirt last season, broke his ankle in the second game of the season, and was forced to sit out. And hasn't shown as much rust as you might have expected this year, playing really well. Here's Micah Peavy.
He was big in that first game.
Nowhere to go.
Kentucky.
McClung lost it, taken away by Wilson.
I'll tell you, this defense is really strong with Kansas. They really have improved defensively big time. And if they could start to get some easy baskets in terms of little, you know, transition layups, offensive rebounds, that'll help make life a lot easier instead of always grinding it out 5 against 5.
Abaji continues to struggle, now 1 of 6 from the field.
You know, they were really key on him because he had such a big game the first matchup that they won by 1 to Kansas. In that game, he had 23. He made 4 threes.
How about that miss by McClung? Normally, he does not miss when you leave him open. You're running 2 and 3 people at him a fair amount. Here's Brown straight away for 3. That's well short. The back tap kept alive by Jalen Wilson.
Jalen Wilson with the hustle play right there. Going after the 50-50 ball, big time. Look at the double team up inside. Now you reverse the ball, you got a wide open shot.
Wilson
I did that, reverse the ball. That all happened because of the double team on the post. The double team on the post created that opportunity, and Kansas had the awareness and the alertness to recognize that and reverse the basketball and swing it to the open side for the jumper.
First time KU has pushed the lead to double figures. McCullough fouled on a reach-in by Jalen Wilson.
McCullough's been really quiet in this game. Take a look at the awareness. There's the double team. He gets the ball out. They swing it side to side, and there's the wide open shot. Bam! That is team basketball, man. That is team basketball. T for togetherness, E for effort, A for attitude, and M for mental toughness.
You only spelled team. What about basketball?
I can't spell it. It's too long. It's more than one syllable.
Out of bounds. It'll stay with Texas Tech. Now, some of the players, you're right, Dick, that Chris Beard normally counts on for offense, not helping him today. TJ Shannon has been very quiet. He hasn't scored yet. McClung with a couple of threes, just now starting to make an impact, but Kyler Edwards hasn't scored. And that's a brick thrown up, and it stays alive. Although I'm not sure that ball hit the rim, but the shot clock was reset. And I think Jamie Lucky's going to come in. They're going to have to go over and check and see if the shot clock should have reset. Unless the ball grazed the rim as it came down in the other direction, they're going to say no, it didn't hit the rim, so it is a shot clock violation.
Tell you what, the big key in this game right now is the way they've defended Shannon. He has not put points on the board. He had 20 in the first matchup for Texas Tech.
Scoring time with Dick Vitale when we come back. Here's this week's NBA Saturday primetime matchup presented by AT&T 5G on ABC and the ESPN app. Jimmy Buckets and the Heat will play the 6th game of a 7-game road trip against LeBron and the Lakers. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. You could see Wilt Chamberlain, part of the history of Kansas. How about a couple of the games last night in the NBA, Dick? Joel Embiid, an old KU player, of course, 50 points and 17 rebounds, only made 1 3. So Wilt style to a certain extent. Brown comes up short in a win over the Bulls. And Jamal Murray last night had 50 and became the first player to ever score 50 in a game in the NBA and not attempt a free throw. Everything from the field. And if you add up what Joel Embiid and Jamal Murray put together last night, 100, that guy did that by himself. 50 points and 17 rebounds. I mean, that was just like a regular old Wednesday night for Wilt Chamberlain.
And look at our guy, Jay Miller, sitting right next to Wilt Still. I'd like to see him try to guard him now. Wilt Still was something. So you talk about special. I mean, he averaged 50 points a game. He averaged 50. How come we don't hear his name ever mentioned in the conversation? The greatest of all time. We constantly hear, obviously, Michael and LeBron and sort of deserving. You hear sometimes Kobe. But do we ever hear Kareem? Do we ever hear about Chamberlain? Those guys were unbelievable how good they were. So dominant.
Yeah, and there's never a time where I'm talking about the best players in the history of the NBA where I'm not mentioning Wilt and Kareem. There's no doubt as McCormick makes like a big man in the old days. Rare that you see a team feed the post the way Kansas is doing so today with McCormick, who stays perfect.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, McCormick's so good here. And if you're going to talk about big guys, nice drive right there. You better not forget the name now from San Francisco by the name of Bill Russell, the greatest winner of all time. With the Celtics, college, you name it. He knew one thing. A nice cut. Good backdoor cut.
Ball movement sets up Abaji. Can't hit the 3.
Texas Tech's going to find a way to get a little spurt going. Oh, nice fake.
Shot fake by Burton. Gets the roll.
Yeah, Burton, he came from Wichita State, who, by the way, is playing really good basketball right now. Really doing a terrific job, the Shockers. Beat Houston recently.
McCormick looks diagonal to Wilson. That's no good. Strong. And Wilson hustles after it, keeps it alive for Bryce Thompson. Or check that for DeJuan Harris. Harris sets up Abaji. He finally knocks down a 3.
Abaji gets the open look. I'll tell you one thing they're doing exceptionally well in this game, Kansas. Passing the ball, looking for the open guy, making sure they get a quality shot. If you get quality shots and you make certain that you're hustling on defense, you got a chance to win. You take bad shots, you're going to go down and maybe get it out. Look at the shot fake right here. Oh, nice fake. Oh, look, he left something on the floor. What did he leave on the floor? He left something on the floor with that little fake. Oh, wow.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. Can Kansas put together a run and come up with another trophy to put in the case at Allen Fieldhouse? Well, it's time for Made of More, brought to you by Guinness. And it has been at the defensive end, Dick, that Kansas has made their bones today.
Look at that defense, man. That defense has been suffocating, scrapping one another, helping like you cannot believe. Look at this down. They really have done a great job.
Agbaji commits a foul here.
Playing
So
that
Kansas
great
now
defense.
out of fouls to give with 13:25 to go in the game. That could be a big factor down the stretch, you'd have to think, with Kansas having a double-digit lead. But Texas Tech has only committed one foul. That's the 6th team foul on Kansas in 6.5 minutes.
Well, they're the second in the conference in terms of number of times getting to the free throw line when you look at Texas Tech. So that's one of their strengths. Also second in terms of not turning the ball over. Got to score right
Santos
here.
Silva wins the 50-50 ball. Kyler Edwards hits a three.
They got to get Edwards going and Shannon going. There's Edwards there with the big three we talked about earlier. He's one of the veteran players, played in a national championship, a game, had 14 points in that heartbreaking loss to Virginia. He's been quiet in this game, so has Shannon been really quiet.
Mid-range jumper, pure for Jalen Wilson.
Wilson went through a little bit of a slump, but he looks like he's back out of it right now in terms of this year, the last couple games. It's tough scoring against this Kansas defense right now. It really is tough. Good entry
Kyler Edwards
inside.
feeds the post, and Micah Peavy will go to the free throw line, and Kansas now over the limit
You
for
know,
the
Bob,
rest of
what
the
they
half.
Bob, what they're doing really well, they're helping one another. They're communicating on defense as a team. And communication is so important defensively. Also part of a good defensive team is the team that closes out the last phase of playing good team defense is boxing out and getting the rebound. And when teams out there play some good defense, then they can hurt in the last phase because they don't block out and teams get second and third opportunities.
Now, Texas Tech may have lost a big-time recruit when Namari Burnett entered the portal, the number 22 player on our ESPN 100. But Micah Peavy was just behind. He was the number 32 player in our top 100. Led his team to a state title in Texas as a junior. Was on the way to the state title game last season again until COVID forced the cancellation of all March Madness, high school and college. The reverse on the alley by Agbaji.
Agbaji gets unbelievable, just so team-oriented Kansas, really sharing it, looking for the high percentage shot, and that was really high percentage time. I really don't know the whole story about Burnett, why he left, but he was the highest rated recruit that Texas Tech ever had, and he didn't really give him much of a shot there in terms of being able to, he played some minutes, he was getting minutes early in the year. Oh, wow.
Edwards forced one up. Offensive rebound, though, for Peavy on the long bounce. Kevin McCullough, yes.
Quiet, finally McCullough gets on a, is that his first goal?
That's his second field goal.
Yeah, he's been quiet.
No, third, pardon me. He's up to 7 points.
Oh, look at
Agbaji
that
backdoor, missed the dunk, and lands hard. He'll shoot 2. And that was a scary fall for Ochai Agbaji.
What a tremendous job executing, really. Little rock chalk time. Look at the rock chalk. Look at the lob inside. The reverse dunk. Wow. Agbaji. Come on. They love it. The Jayhawks love it. They say rock chalk Jayhawk. Rock chalk Jayhawk.
Bob Wischusen, Dick Vitale. A Mac attack in the Big 12 today. And it's fun, Dick, to watch Mac McClung play basketball. He has become a social media sensation with all the big shots he's made in Lubbock this year.
Tell you one thing, he got open shots. Here we're watching him in this video highlights, he's getting open looks. He hasn't had too many of those open looks here against that Kansas defense. They've been suffocating everywhere he's been on the floor. Any basket he's gotten in this game, he's got 8 points. He has had to work for them like you can't believe. He's really the focus of their defense, and Kansas taking a lot of pride now, has really improved defensively. You know, Bob, you and I had them earlier against Tennessee. It was an embarrassment down here. The score was not indicative on how badly they were outplayed on the offensive end and the defensive end by Tennessee.
But you did say today was really a true test for Kansas because they've won 4 in a row, but against an Oklahoma State team, 2 against Iowa State, and 1 against Kansas State as well. So they were playing the lower level teams in the Big 12, and certainly Oklahoma State has been in and out of the top 25, but they don't compare with the Baylors and Oklahomas of the world so far this season. This is a really impressive performance for Kansas to back up the 4-game win streak, at least so far.
Absolutely very impressive, offensively and defensively. I just think they're going to learn to get a little more easier scores, whether it be off a turnover, whether it be a transition game, or an offensive rebound.
Brown for 3. Agbaji
that's
with a hustle play.
That's pure hustle. Chris Beard's not going to like that because his team's known for being scrapped and hustling. That's what his trademark is. And right there, they got to hustle on that rebound. They haven't been able to go on a spurt. That's the one thing Kansas has done really a good job. It's kept them from absolutely going on a spurt. We haven't seen an 8-1 run or a 9-2 run by Texas Tech. But they need to spurt badly here. Any chance to win this game here in Allen Fieldhouse. You watch McClain away from the ball. People are right up in his face, even away from the ball.
Really good hands by Agbaji to knock it away from TJ Shannon. And Agbaji tied up now by McCullough. Held ball. The arrow will give it to Texas Tech.
That time the arrow really went the right way. He made that play. Hey, Virginia and Duke. Wow, Bob. That's Mr. Bennett and company going down to play Duke. Duke a little bit on a run right now. Played a lot better than they did earlier.
And that is a sonic blockbuster coming up at 8 Eastern tonight. The Hoos and the Blue Devils right here on ESPN.
Every possession, you got to work so hard to get an open look here.
Nice look by
pass right
McCullough.
there.
And the reverse is good for Agbo.
Agbo got the deuce, but really excellent execution right there. Good bounce pass. Drove in, he got the right angle.
With Micah Peavy picking up his 3rd foul a short time ago, that gives Chibuzo Agbo a chance to get in the game, and he shows up here.
Yeah, it does a nice play here. It's good. Inside layup, a little reverse. The pass made it happen, though. That's the great pass. That's good team basketball. You can see they drill on that. You know, Texas Tech will be a team you don't want to face in the first round of something in the tournament, I'll tell you that.
The scoop rolls off the rim for DeJuan Harris.
DeJuan Harris, little guy, really a good penetrator. He's kind of a real true point guard.
Nadolny picked up his dribble.
Picked up his dribble.
And a timeout called by Texas Tech to bail him out. Well, how do you see Texas Tech moving towards March Madness? At this point, Dick, right now, Joe Lunardi projects them as a 4 seed.
Well, you know, I don't know about 4 seed because really what's going to happen now is they got some potential losses facing them. I mean, you said it earlier. They're going to play right Baylor, you said, did you not? They got Baylor, and I thought you said Texas. Am I correct?
This is for Kansas. They've got a very difficult finish, but for Texas Tech, they still have games against Oklahoma State and Texas before the regular season's over, before we get to maybe a makeup game or 2 prior to the Big 12 tournament.
Well, they got 4 games that they got to make up. Do they not?
Yeah, I talked to Chris Beard about that yesterday, and he did say that he's not sure that the games that are going to be, you know, in the conversation to be made up can all be made up. I mean, Baylor right now, they've been about 2 weeks without playing, so they're still 4-0, but Oklahoma, West Virginia, Texas, and Texas Tech, those are their records against each other. So you could see how this league is so competitive. The top teams basically have beaten each other up unless they've outplayed Baylor.
Right. And Baylor has that many looks. They've played 9 games thus far. Nice little jump shot right there. If they're going to make a run, this is the time to do it. Down to 7. They're going to have to stop, get some stops defensively, and come back and put some pressure on Kansas by scoring.
I did ask Chris Beard about make-up games yesterday, and if he thought that some of the games that Texas Tech needed to make up, or any of those kind of marquee matchups, especially a bunch of the games that Baylor has been left without, would they be made up? And he said, really, it's being talked about right now in the Big 12 offices with Commissioner Bowlesby and the athletic directors, but it's so fluid, no one really has an answer to that question. And the question then becomes, if you're going to make up games, which games get made up? Do they prioritize based on television? Do they want the ranked versus ranked matchups? Or, you know, how do you determine if you have 4 games to make up and you can only make up 2, which 2 they are? And so they're going through that right now.
It's a crazy time. They're talking about also winning percentage is going to determine the seeding. And then you're talking about there's going to be even phantom losses put on schedule, do an adjusted winning percentage. There's all kinds of things going on behind the scenes. I will tell you this, though. There's no doubt that his club belongs in the NCAA tournament. I don't care if they lose those last few games. This team is definitely a club that can compete with people across this nation. Their style of play is going to be in a game against everyone because they're tough mentally, physically, and they defend.
A rare miss at the line for McClung. He's the 6th best free throw shooter in the Big 12 at 81%.
You know, Bob, I really believe when you're struggling like he was offensively, not that he's struggling because of him. It's the defense, man, that's been frustrating him. And it affects him not even shoot a free throw. I mean, he goes 1 for 2 in a game like this. He's got to make those kind. He's got it down to 6 now. A lot of time in this game left. They haven't gone away. It looked like Kansas was ready to put them away, and yet they show their resilience and their toughness, which reflects their coach, their leader. Texas Tech getting after it defensively, really challenging them on each possession. Oh, that is a drive. Great drive to the goal.
Marcus Garrett, he's got 6.
That was not an easy drive right there. He didn't have a real good angle. And his body action made that happen with body control.
Eight to shoot. PJ Shannon sets up McCullough. That short jumper won't go. Santos Silva saves it, but he was out of bounds. It hit Santos Silva, it looked like, on the carom after the save while he was out of bounds. So it will go over to Kansas when we come back. A little history lesson with the Red Raiders when we return to Allen Fieldhouse. All right, Fonz in the build, thanks very much. And Dick, you had your eye on that Fighting Irish game. That's a big one for Syracuse and for Notre Dame, as those teams kind of in the middle of the pack in the ACC. They are entering must-win territory at this point as Christian Brown goes backdoor.
I tell you what a great play to call during the timeout. Little backdoor cut, that's been working for them all day. They really catch the defense staring at the ball. Hey, Lil Fonz, you got to help those Irish out, man. Go down there and help them out. They were up last time. I was talking about the Irish really coming on to Bob during the break. They were up like about 17 or 18. Now you're telling me 36-8 run by the Cuse. That's ouch if you're an Irish fan. It's not a great backdoor cut by Bill Self and his kids. A set play. His execution. That's why guys are great coaches. He is certainly a great coach.
TJ Shannon gives it up. Santos Silva needed to convert. Second effort, he gets it done.
But he stayed right with it. You got to give the kid credit. He stayed right with it. Good aggressive play around the goal. Used his left hand really well. Can use either hand.
Brown can't connect from 3. He has been off today from behind the arc. 1 for 7 from three-point land for Christian Brown.
And he wants him to shoot it, though. He wants him to shoot that ball.
Mid-range for McClung.
Starting to get some point totals right there. Defense broke down, allowed him to get that little 15-foot shot. They cut it to 6 again. Haven't been able to get it down less than 6. Every time they get it there, they come up with a big play, Kansas.
McCormick gets caught in the corner.
Oh, what a nice pass.
For Bryce Thompson. That won't go. Christian Brown able to snatch the loose ball.
50-50 balls. Kansas coming up with them, and that usually leads to the winning locker room.
Marcus Garrett weaves his way to a floater.
He's a winner, man. He's just a flat-out winner, Marcus Garrett. Does all the little things. He's got to work on shooting a jump shot. So he's got to really work on for the next level. But he has a lot of qualities he brings to the table. And one of them's right here, playing defense.
Kickball on McCormick.
Would somebody tell me where Shannon is? I haven't heard the name Shannon. I mean, you're calling game, Bob. Shannon's 1 for 1. This guy is labeled as a potential first-round draft choice. Had 20. Is he injured? Is he hurt?
Doesn't look like himself, that's for sure. He did not start. He's been in and out of the starting lineup, but Kevin McCullough, since coming back, has been a regular in the starting rotation. Shannon came off the bench, but he has been quiet. Here's McCullough. That's too strong. Offensive rebound, Santos Silva. Shot fake and an and one chance.
Well, did a great job with the shot fake. He got great position on the inside. But you know what? When you think about Shannon, he's been okay with not starting because he played starters minutes. He's really a starter, but he gives them electricity off that bench during the course of the year. And today it's not happened. He's not getting any looks. Look at his body language. You can see he's frustrated. He knows he's much better than what we have seen on the floor here today. He knows that. He knows he's a talented player. He's got great skills, this guy. Out of Chicago, he's explosive. He can score. He can shoot. He made 4 threes. First time they played against Kansas.
He had 13 against West Virginia back on the 9th. That was the last game that Texas Tech played after having 3 straight postponements. Offensive rebound, McCormick. And he leaned in and was fouled, it looks like, by Santos Silva.
I'll tell you one thing. They cut it to 6 again. They get the missed shot, but they let Kansas get possession of the offensive rebound right here. And then there's the foul. And that's been the problem all year for Santos Silva, getting himself in foul trouble.
Foul call number 14. Marcus Santos Silva.
That's the 4th foul on Santos Silva. Check that. I believe that is the 3rd foul on Santos Silva.
They're checking the principle of verticality right now. They're checking that. I think it's a foul on Silva. I really do. Santos Silva. I thought he made contact with the body. Then again, I got 1 eye. Refs got 2 eyes. They got 3 refs. That's 6 eyes. They got a better look than I do.
You know what? Your 1 eye was right. Your 1 eye beat all 6 of theirs.
He's playing really well, Santos Silva, today. He's giving him really quality minutes. He's been aggressive, physical.
Here's McCormick across the lane. A little too strong. McCullough. And a blocking foul is called on Agbaji.
Well, now you got to make these free throws count. Gives me a winner. Chance to get it under. Chance to get it under that 6. Every time I got to 6, it went back up to 8 or 9. You know what? I would bring Shannon back. I think he did bring Shannon back. Did he bring him back in again? Yes, he did.
When they set Santos Silva down, Shannon came back in the game.
I think that's a good move right there. You take the kid out for a minute or 2, he's struggling, and bring him back in. He's too talented to be sitting on a bench with 4:54 in a game left. You got to go with your best people and hope that he can produce. Good move by Chris Beard.
Top-ranked boxing tonight in Las Vegas. Miguel Berchelt defends his WBC junior lightweight title against Oscar Valdez in the 12-round main event. The main card starts at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. The prelims at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN+.
And one of my best friends is Valdez, Mike Valdez, one of my financial brokers, and he's agreeing, but he doesn't have his kind of boxing skills. That's the real Valdez.
Garrett in the lane, floats one. That's good.
Tell you, Garrett coming up with some big baskets. That was a big possession there. They missed the 2 free throws. That's a 4-point turnaround, Bob. You don't have to go to Harvard to figure that out. He missed the 2 free throws. They come back and get a score, so that'll lead 8 instead of 4.
It does take a lot of stress away from me that you're here to do all that math. Peavy blocked. Another takeaway at the defensive end by KU. It ends up with McCormick.
And that has been their signature right now, is their defense over the last, this being the 5th game.
Garrett accelerates. Agbaji wide open. Offensive rebound. Brown in traffic. Agbaji gets another try. He makes good.
Credit that to Brown. Credit that to hustle, scrapping, clawing. Credit that to passion and pride of wearing a Kansas jersey. Bill Self, Hall of Fame, is going to be proud of those kids. The way they battle the battle. Second efforts, third efforts. Oh, look at the crowd here. They're jumping. They're saying rock, chalk, Jayhawk.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5 Hour Energy, the official sponsor of Getting Stuff Done. All right, Nabil, thanks very much. It is a heavyweight doubleheader going on right now in the Big 12. Texas Tech and Kansas down the stretch, and a good one in the first half between West Virginia and Texas over on ABC. So good day to have the app as Christian Braun takes it away again for KU.
Well, Brown did a great job with the rebound on the other end, and he comes back up here, gets a good defensive stop. Defense, the trademark right now, this Kansas basketball team. They're getting good execution and efficiency out of the half-court game.
McCormick,
to the post.
Deep post position. Doesn't get the roll. Tapped around in the fight won by Kyler Edwards. He lost it though. Lost his footing.
It's been a tough afternoon for Kyler and also for Shannon.
Let's take a look at an upcoming Sonic blockbuster.
UVA understands how to play together.
And the question is, will the real Duke team stand up? Duke and Virginia, this is great.
Dickie V, you are everywhere. Even in our Sonic blockbuster preview, all of a sudden you show up talking about Duke.
I can't believe it. I don't remember recording that.
That is a big one for both of those teams, though. For Virginia to stay in the top 10, to stay as high as possible bracketology-wise. And boy, Duke would love to get a win against a top 10 team to back up the work that they've done of late.
Well, you know, it's not vintage Duke, and it's not vintage certainly Virginia, but it's still a special game. Anytime those elite coaches and programs hook up, it's special.
McCormick fouls McCullough on the drive.
Florida
So where
State
does
really,
Texas Tech go for offense down the stretch here, down by 11? They have not gotten what they normally get out of Mac McClung or out of TJ Shannon in this game. You know, if you're Chris Beard, who are you drawing plays up for to try and find points?
Well, you got to get the best guy with the ball who's got a high percentage area of a shot. They got good balance in their lineup. They got to get. I mean, I don't think they're going to win without Shannon putting some points on the board. He's going to have to come through for them. He has not. He's one. What is he? 1 for 1 thus far in this game. I mean, that's really tough for a guy that you know is a scorer. Like I said, he had 20 against Kansas in the first matchup. And they've done a great job curtailing him. And I think he's hurt himself too. Probably frustrated, thinking too much, rather than just play and let his talent come forward.
Avery Benson checks in.
Kevin McCullough sits down as they manage his fouls.
Put a little pressure
Marcus
in the backcourt. I mean, that's no secret. They got to come up with some turnovers and knock down a 3 or 2 to get back and really give a chance to win this game. Oh, great
Position inside. McCormick. That's stripped off his leg, though, potentially by Edwards. But they will say it did go off of Kyler Edwards, as Edwards thought for a moment he had created the turnover. Good hands to get it away from McCormick and avoid the easy 2.
Yeah, it really was going to be an easy layup on the inside. And Edwards did a great job rotating over.
Santos Silva back in.
on the floor.
Here's McCormick. 10 to shoot.
Go right to McCormick. Get inside position. You got a mismatch size-wise.
Garrett picks up his dribble.
Size-wise. Dump it in the wall.
Brown for three.
Didn't see the guy.
Rattled in and out. Tapped around. McCormick's got the loose ball after Wilson kept it alive.
Nothing more frustrating to being a big, powerful inside player when they don't recognize you being open and dumping that ball inside. I mean, you got to get it to the big guy when they got inside position.
Garrett nearly turned it over. Brown off balance. That's blocked. Here comes TJ Shannon.
Shannon's got great quickness. He's got great
Goes
quickness.
to the goal. Missed the layup, but a foul call.
That's his game. You get in the open court, take the ball to the basket, go up strong. Clock stops. Got to go to free throw line, convert these. He's looking at player of the game.
Our player of the game is brought to you by Phillips 66, and it's been another very solid outing for David McCormick. 17 points, 6 rebounds. He has been in double figures now, and 8 of the last 9 for Kansas.
You know, Bob, he's really coming strong in that 4-game winning streak now. This being a potential 5th game, he averaged 14.6 a game, I believe it is, in those 4. And now you charted this, that gets it up a little bit. He's probably get to the 15 points a game in that stretch. And it shows they're utilizing their post guy effectively. He's playing hard. He's playing good basketball IQ. Gets inside when he wants with good positioning. And his stock is going up and up and up. Just like the stock going up in the kid of Kentucky, Isaiah Jackson, had a big game today again for John Calipari in their rout of Tennessee. So the Blue Bloods are answering some calls here today. I mean, think about it. Michigan State, they're down 19-6 in the game at Indiana. They're down 8-9 in the second half. Come back, win that game. Tom Izzo. You think about John Calipari goes on a road to Tennessee in a real test after beating Akron beating Auburn by 2, and then beating also they beat Vanderbilt by 2. And the situation is they go down to Tennessee and they rout Tennessee, and their kids step up big time. Jackson was really terrific in the game. His stock is rising.
How about a little Texas Tech history lesson during Black History Month? Gene Nolan, Greg Lowry averaged a combined 41 points during the 70-71 season. And we're wondering if both of these guys might be able to get posthumously into the Texas Tech Hall of Fame.
Why not? Why not? That's pretty impressive, those numbers right there.
For more Black history, always storytelling like that, visit theundefeated.com. So 7-point lead for Kansas, and they had to burn a timeout as Ochai Agbaji was unable to get the ball inbounds. Kansas down to 2 timeouts remaining. Texas Tech out of timeouts with a buck 43 to go, and now KU confusion in the backcourt. They throw it away, and Texas Tech gets the turnover, and the clock stops. Doesn't even run.
Now you got to see whether or not they can take advantage of this. This guy coaching like it's his first game instead of being a Hall of Famer with all the wins he has. That's what makes him special. It's always about the moment. To the great play. You think about LeBron James. He cares about today. He don't care what he did yesterday and the day before. Tom Brady, the same thing. All the greats. Serena Williams, all the greats. They care about them being better today. There's the big 3.
McCullough hits a 3 from the corner after the KU turnover. And with a buck 35 to go, it's a 4-point game.
And it's really the first time they've gotten it down to 4 here in the second half. It's been constantly around the 8 total. What's the question mark here? See, not being in the arena, we don't get the feel for what this is going on.
Looks like a clock issue that Jamie Lucky's going to go over to try and clear up at the scorer's table. And it looked like Chris Beard might have been the one that brought it to their attention. But a really nice play to set up McCullough for a wide open 3 off the inbound.
Nice play right there, no doubt about it. Good defensive effort to force that turnover. Hey, if you're a Jayhawk fan, you got to get Bob Davis's book. You got to call the games there for many a year. You got to book out. It's really supposedly everybody really loves it. Did it with Jeff Bullock.
Kansas gets it across the timeline with the 4-point lead, 1:20 to go.
Each possession now so big, man, so big.
Garrett, that pass deflected. Agbaji recovers. Brown wide open. That won't go. But the follow is there on the 11th rebound of the game for Jalen Wilson.
Jalen Wilson just fighting and battling. Comes up with a big-time offensive rebound.
DJ Shannon answers with a
finally
three.
comes. Where you been? Where you been? Where's Mr. Shannon been?
He shows up now, under a minute to go, and it's a one-possession game.
Play smart defense right here. Come up with a stop, you're going to get the ball. Then the question is going to be, will Kansas foul or let them go for the three? But they got to come up with the possession right here.
10 seconds on the shot clock as Garrett gives it up to Jalen Wilson. Wilson, diagonal
how
to
big's the shot?
Brown. He finally knocks down his second three of the game.
Oh, wow. Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, big man on campus down there. Yes, sir. Big man on campus.
Can't answer. Garrett's got the rebound. Christian Brown was 1 for 9 from three-point land before his 10th attempt goes down.
Smile, Christian, smile. You're allowed to smile. I mean, it's a big, big shot. And look at him finding the open guy. And that's number 2, Mr. Brown. Yes, sir. Oh, the bench loves it. They're going to be big man on campus in Lawrence. I can tell you that. Mr. Brown.
That should be the game-sealing shot for a Kansas team that is on the verge of winning their 5th consecutive game. And Texas Tech, a very game effort after losing their last 3 games to the combination of COVID and all of the weather troubles that they've had in Texas. Here's McClung. That's no good. The rebound to Brown, and the clock will wind down, and Kansas will get their 5th consecutive win, this time against the 15th ranked team in America.
Tell you what, great job defensively. Both clubs really battle like you could not believe, but Kansas gets, as you said, Bob, the 5th in a row. Defensively, super.
For Dick Vitale and our entire crew, I'm Bob Wischusen. Coming up next, it is Auburn and LSU. It took a while for Christian Brown to make an impact shot, but that proved to be the margin of victory for Kansas. Time to head to Tom Hart and Dallin Cup.